rolling. Welcome to episode 2 of Up All Night with All Out Cricket. I'm Phil Walker, All Out Cricket editor. This is Vidushan Nahantaraja, Ed Kemp. You join us here at the Oval. This is the official Bangladesh Supporters Club, folks. Ed Kemp's joined us, hot-footing it from Kingston, Jamaica. How are you feeling?
Really good.
Yeah.
You can probably tell from the suntan just how well I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful to be a part of Yuan Walk. So
nice. You've been working on that all day and it's getting better and better.
Thanks very much.
This World Cup is on. It started. We're a few days in now. There's been some inspired performances. There's been some stinkers, as you would expect. Ed Kemp, what's your overall impression so far? Have you been moved by anything? You're normally so inscrutable. What's actually rocked your boat so far?
Well, I know we'll come to some of the other stuff in a moment, but obviously it's thinking about England as ever.
Mm-hmm. You can't just shake that, can you? You're stuck in Albion, and you always will be.
Yeah.
Vidus from France. Initial impressions?
The DJs in New Zealand are geniuses.
Yeah. Favourite so far, Footloose, probably?
No. There was a Hagley Oval set which started with Shaka Demus and Adele remixed together.
No.
Inside the power play overs. What a way to go.
Audacious to stick it in the power plays as well. You'd think they'd go at the death with that, but fair play.
Go big or go home.
Without further ado, it's over to AB with his World Cup Minute.
The World Cup is well and truly here, and what a week it's been. India versus Pakistan, the most watched cricket game ever. The best moments in cricket are when you come across something, a shot, an approach, a way of playing, which you had thought special and particular to you. I often think that when I watch Virat Kohli bat. England versus Australia, on the other hand, not quite as positive. Peter, Fabi and I, Owen Morgan must have thought, have got an awful lot on our plate. The best discoveries, though, are seldom made at the frontier and more often at the bins. Their death bowling, then, should be particularly useful. South Africa, Zimbabwe, JP Duminy and David Miller, or Ringo and George as they're better known, getting to play some tunes. New Zealand, Scotland. New Zealand, the nicest of hosts, and probably the most tipped dark horse since Shergar. This World Cup, like a racehorse, will run and run. Some will win and others won't. And then in 4 years' time, we'll do it all again.
Okay, folks, here's the moment that you've probably never been waiting for. Mr. Ed Kemp here. He's got various after-dinner skills, one of which is that he can impersonate at least 7 batsmen. Ed Kemp, whose stance is this? Check this out.
And this for a chance to win some Dhoni D's, very Dhoni Spartan
Looking good then.
batting gloves, which are brand new.
Let's hope so.
I'm not going to be batting for a full innings in this. So, which granite jawed and willed man boy skipper is this?
I've got it. Oh, that's good. So, folks,
Tell us.
And if you need a quick air, if you sit.
biggest story of the week.
Biggest story of the week is obviously the West Indies losing to Ireland. Everyone saw it coming.
In the shock that wasn't a shock.
Yeah, in the anti-shock, as it were. But I think it's the way they chased down that score. They bowled pretty badly at the death, but nailed it. Of the 5 kind of chases of 300 in the World Cup that they've been, Ireland are responsible for 3 of them, which is, yeah.
You say they bowled badly at the death. That would be to cast aspersions on the quality of John Mooney.
Apart from him, I would never say anything bad about John Mooney ever.
No.
Not in the company of Phil Walker.
Or John Mooney, if you're watching John, big fans.
Within 100 miles. The Steve Collins of World Cup 15, and if Chris Gale is Eubank, then he is definitely Steve Collins. He was lovable 4 years ago in seeing off England in that run chase. He's gone ahead and done it again. He's always on the borderline, isn't he?
strong views.
Yeah, combustible
Right.
is the polite middle class way of putting it. Lunatic is probably the more street level version. I'm utterly in love with John Mooney, and I wanted to come and work for us. John, if you're out there, come and work for us, please. Other stars of that game. I thought Ed Joyce was, as ever, a class apart.
Yeah, and Paul Sterling, you know, we've spoken to Gus
Yeah.
Fraser, who's said that of all the players that he's seen, the only person who comes close to Viv Richards is Paul Sterling, and he smoked it, didn't he? You know, he looks trimmer, he looks a bit healthier. Even his bowling was pretty good in the middle overs. You smoked there.
Yeah.
Don't laugh at Paul Sterling.
No. Trimmer. Yeah.
Now, you're very much in love, Ed Kent, as we know, and it was Valentine's Day, but I do believe that you managed to watch at least 17 minutes of the England game.
Oh God, yeah.
What was your impression of their opener against Australia?
Well, you know, obviously it was a huge disappointment. The problem is they didn't take wickets up front for me. Like,
It doesn't help when you drop the man who gets 135.
This is it, and you know there are
In the first ball.
all sorts of stats about how well Australia do when they rack up a good opening partnership, and it just all bore out. And then from there, all of the worst nightmares about how England might go just
Exactly
come to
that.
pass. You know, so as you say, that catch is taken, and maybe it's a different
Yeah.
story. The pressure's not on the guys then in the last 10. When they had their plans to deliberately bowl short for the longer square boundary, which there was a logic to, but obviously they've been hammered for since then.
The frustration from a fan, and I watched it up to about 8:30 in the morning before I finally gave up, was that all the things that you feared were going to go wrong, but you kind of wanted to lean towards optimism and positivity, just ended up going wrong anyway. And from dropping catches to poor misfields to kind of garbled back-end bowling, I thought I can understand the theory of short pitch bowling to wide boundaries either side, but in reality you've got to be able to think on your feet. That didn't happen, and then the standard garbled batting effort resulting in another weird blob for the skipper.
And that quote, are we going to read out that quote?
Shall we?
Yeah, I think we should.
Owen Morgan, a fine player and a big fan. Everyone's a big fan of him round here. I don't feel too bad over that dismissal, and understand why he would say that. I toe-ended a pull, and I think the ball stuck in the pitch a little. All fair points. As a rule, I am a huge nick-off candidate, which for an England skipper to acknowledge, that's one hell of an admission, isn't it? First game of essentially a 7-week tournament, to basically kind of just establish, just for once and for all, just how questionable he sees his own technique to be, let alone what the opposition has said.
But I think that's what I love about Morgan.
I really
He's it's just so honest, and at the same time, yeah, you know, that's how I'd get out. That's what I'd be worried about. I'm not worried about any of this other stuff.
And I think these guys, they acknowledge that, you know, these days if you play international cricket, then everyone knows how you get out. So he just says it, he just calls it, he sees it, and I think England fans, I think, warm to that because not everyone speaks like that, you know.
If Owen Morgan saw a spade, what would he call it?
A trail.
He'd call it a spade.
Okay folks, that's pretty much it from us. Just to say, last week was our all-out cricket gear test, live from Lords. Best 40 bats of 2015, tested by 4 ex-England pros. You want to know what the best bat is for 2015, you're going to have to buy the magazine in 2 weeks' time. I've been Phil Walker. Vish, you enjoyed it?
I have, and if you need your quick fix of ASC in the meantime, go to alloutcricket.com, and also Mag, still in the shops now with all World Cup details, including all the fixtures as well.
Bang on. Ed Kemp, anything to add?
It's been better than I dreamed of.
Thank you for finally showing up.
No worries.
We've been All Out Cricket. Join us next week, folks.